The comments and statements made within the show are the opinions of the commentators and their guests and have not been evaluated by the FDA and are in no way an attempt to diagnose, treat, mitigate, cure, or prevent any disease or illness. The contents of the show are not to be construed as medical advice. If you have a health condition or health concern, please contact a licensed qualified healthcare practitioner.
Welcome back to Herbal Answers with Nan. I'm your host, and today we're diving deep into what I call the Cognitive Enhancement 5-Stack, a carefully selected combination of 5 powerful natural compounds that work synergistically to enhance focus, attention, and learning capacity. We'll be talking about Bacopa Monnieri, Methylated B Vitamins, Gotu Kola, lion's mane mushroom, and L-Theanine. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but by the end of today's show, you'll understand exactly why these 5 work so beautifully together and how they can transform your cognitive performance naturally. What makes me so excited about this combination is that we're not just following the latest trends, we're combining ancient wisdom with cutting-edge research and clinical knowledge. Each of these compounds has thousands of years of traditional use backing it up. And we now have rigorous scientific studies showing us exactly how and why they work, and I use all 5 of them in my practice. This isn't about replacing your morning coffee with a handful of pills. This is about understanding how to support your brain's natural processes so you can think clearer, focus longer, and learn more effectively throughout your life. So grab your favorite tea, settle in, and let's explore these remarkable gifts from nature. So before we dive into our 5-stack protocol, let's talk about what's really happening in your brain when you focus, learn, or try to remember something like where did I put my keys, or who's that person's name, or what is that word I'm looking for? Your brain is this incredible network of about 86 billion neurons, all communicating through chemical messengers called neurotransmitters. And when your cognitive function is optimal, you have efficient neurotransmitter production, which means your brain is making enough acetylcholine for memory, dopamine for motivation, and GABA for calm focus. Healthy nerve growth factor is really important as well. Your brain is constantly growing new connections, protecting existing ones, and pruning old ones that you haven't used in a long, long time. That's why that saying, use it or lose it, is very true with the mind. Nutrients and oxygen has to reach every brain cell. And this pruning and growth and maintenance is going on all the time. We want to lower inflammation in your brain so that your brain's immune system isn't overactive. And we want to make sure that you have good stress resilience so your brain can handle challenges without burning out. And I think you all know what that's like, that mental burnout. So each herb and nutrient in our 5-stack addresses multiple aspects of brain health. They're not just masking symptoms, okay? They're actually supporting the fundamental processes and offering building blocks that make clear thinking possible. And here's what I love about natural cognitive enhancers. They tend to work with your brain's natural rhythms rather than forcing artificial states like coffee and stimulants. Those are forcing the issue versus just naturally getting your brain to do what it does best. You're not getting jittery stimulation followed by some crazy crash. Instead, you're giving your brain the tools it needs to function at its best. So let's start with what I call the memory master. This is Bacopa Monnieri, one of my all-time favorite brain herbs. It really is this just tremendous. I actually grow it. I grow it in my fish tank. I'm not kidding you. It's a water herb. In Sanskrit, it's called Brahmi, and it's named after Brahma, which is this in the Hindu pantheon. That's the creator god. That's the Brahmi was the god who kind of created everything. So that kind of gives you an idea how revered this herb is throughout the Ayurvedic history. Okay, so it's very ancient, more than 2,500 years old. Notably used both in what we would call verbal history and written history for over 3,000 years. It's called a Medha Rasayana. Rasayana means intellect enhancer or brain tonic, or the other way it's known in Sanskrit is that which is closest to God. So this is like a major herb. It's amazing. Americans really don't hear about it a lot. Traditional Ayurvedic practitioners prescribed it for students and scholars to improve their memory, their concentration, and their ability to acquire new information and hold on to it. So we call that learning. They believed it helped balance the three doshas, particularly when mental fatigue and scattered thinking was present. And in traditionally used, Bacopa was often combined with ghee, which is clarified butter, taken in the morning on an empty stomach. And practitioners noted that while some herbs give immediate effects, Bacopa was known to build benefits over time. So now we understand it's because it affects what's called neuroplasticity, or your ability to grow new neurons in your brain. And so that takes a little time because our nervous system is one of the slower growing systems in our body, but it's really, really tremendous. So after 1 month, you really think, I think I noticed something. By the end of 3 months, you know you've noticed something. It's remarkable. Now, the science behind Bacopa is robust. Modern research has revealed exactly why Bacopa has such profound effects on the mind. The magic lies in the compound called bacosides, specifically bacoside A and B. These are triterpenoid saponins that have remarkable abilities. Bacosides increase protein synthesis in the hippocampus, your brain's memory center. This literally helps build stronger neural networks. Pretty cool, huh? And Bacopa enhances acetylcholine function, the neurotransmitter crucial for learning and memory. It also supports GABA activity, which explains why people often feel both mentally sharp and calm while using Bacopa. Bacosides are powerful antioxidants that protect brain cells from oxidative damage, which is crucial for long-term cognitive health. And Bacopa acts as an adaptogen, helping to normalize cortisol levels and protect the brain from stress-induced damage. So it really supports what's called homeostatic mechanisms. That's a really important word because people who are in holistic health believe that the body has self-healing and self-righting mechanisms called homeostasis. And we focus on that. So a featured research spotlight for Bacopa, one of my really kind of favorite more recent studies was from 2022. It really highlights Bacopa's potential. It was published in Phytotherapy, and it examined Bacopa's effects on children with ADHD symptoms, and the results were fascinating. Researchers conducted a 14-week randomized double-blind placebo-controlled trial with 112 boys aged 6 to 14 who exhibited inattention and hyperactivity. What they found was remarkable. While Bacopa didn't significantly change behavioral hyperactivity measures, it showed profound benefits for cognitive function. Children taking Bacopa made fewer errors on cognitive tasks and showed improvements in cognitive flexibility, executive functioning, which means making good choices, and even sleep quality, which really helps as the child gets older, having proper sleep. What's particularly interesting is that these cognitive benefits occurred without the behavioral side effects often seen with the traditional ADHD medications, so stimulants. And this suggests that Bacopa might be especially valuable for enhancing cognitive performance rather than just managing behavioral symptoms. It's offering a gentler, more holistic approach to supporting focus and attention. For therapeutic benefits, research typically uses 300 to 600 milligrams daily of a standardized extract containing 50 to 55% bacosides, the ones we were talking about, A and B. So the key with Bacopa is patience. While some people notice initial effects within a few weeks, the full cognitive benefit effects usually develop over 12 weeks, which is about 3 months. And I always recommend taking Bacopa with a meal that contains a little bit of fat in it. It does dramatically absorption, dramatically improves absorption. I'm already thinking ahead, right? I think what's really, really important is that when I talk about these remedies, these other remedies, you can see how they work together and they also support their absorption. You can also take Bacopa with omega-3s or with ahi flour, which is a vegan omega-3, or with phosphatidylcholine, phosphatidylserine, which also help with its absorption. It's a marathon herb, so it's not a sprint herb. It compounds over time, but we are really absolutely positive that some good effect will occur. Okay, so that's Bacopa. And now let's talk about methylated B vitamins. So this is a building block, or what we call a biochemical foundation. This is where we get into some very fascinating biochemistry that can literally change lives, especially for people who've been struggling with brain fog, fatigue, difficulty concentrating, despite doing everything right, getting all the right sleep, getting exercise, and you're still really concerned, like, gosh, I'm just not clear thinking. Okay, so there's this process that happens in the liver. It's called methylation, and it's fundamental biochemical process. It's the transfer of these things called methyl groups. It's a carbon and 3 hydrogen atoms from one molecule to another. Okay, it just kind of goes bloop. All right, it seems easy enough, but it's crucial for the following parts of our biochemistry: DNA synthesis and repair, so keeping your genetic code healthy; neurotransmitter production, making serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine; detoxification, helping your liver process toxins; energy production, supporting mitochondrial function; gene expression, turning genes on and off appropriately. So here's why it gets really personable. Approximately 40 to 60% of the population has genetic variations in their MTHFR gene. So that's the gene that's responsible for driving methylation. Okay. This enzyme is crucial for converting folate into its active form. This is really, really important when it comes to B vitamins. If you have other MTHFR variations, and remember, this affects 50% of the population, taking regular folic acid or cyanocobalamin, so it's a standard B12, from typical multivitamins may actually not be utilized by your body. I know that's probably, you're doing one of these, what? I take B vitamins every day. Is it in the wrong form? So it's kind of like using the wrong key in the lock. It's not, you haven't been able to transfer it into the right form for your cells to use it. So this is really huge when it comes to brain health. So when methylation isn't working optimally, several things happen that directly impact cognition. Okay, so the first thing that happens is you have elevated homocysteine. So this is an amino acid that could become neurotoxic at high levels. It damages brain cells and blood vessels. You can have poor neurotransmitter synthesis. So without adequate methylated folate and B12, your brain can't effectively make the neurotransmitter needed for mood, motivation, and focus. You can have increased oxidative stress. Impaired methylation leads to reduced antioxidant production, leaving brain cells vulnerable to damage. You can also have energy production issues. Methylation is crucial for mitochondrial function, the powerhouse of your brain cells. So these key methylated B vitamins all of a sudden become that building block on top of which you would put all these other herbs like Bacopa. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because a lot of people are taking it in the wrong form. So methylfolate is it's folate which is active and ready to use. So unlike folic acid, which requires multiple conversion steps, methylfolate can immediately support neurotransmitter synthesis and DNA repair. Methylcobalamin That's the active methylated form of B12 instead of cyanocobalamin. It directly supports myelin synthesis, the insulation around the nerve. So this is a big deal, right? Um, and it can cross through the blood-brain barrier more effectively, cyanocobalamin. So it's really important if you want to have brain energy and feel like you don't have rapid mental fatigue. That's really important. P5P, or pyridoxal 5-phosphate, the active form of B6, it's essential for converting all your amino acids into neurotransmitters. So you can have all the right proteins there, but if you don't have an active form, the methylated form of B6, no go. You're not going to make neurotransmitters. So, and it's particularly important for GABA, serotonin, and dopamine. And then riboflavin 5-phosphate. So this is the active form of B2. And this actually helps support the MTHFR enzyme function, the actual function of making methylation. It's really important for people who have genetic variations. Okay, so there's a lot of clinical evidence. The research on methylated B vitamins for cognitive function is so compelling. Studies have shown significant benefits for the following: memory formation and recall, particularly in older adults; processing speed, how quickly your brain processes information; and verbal speed, how quickly you can speak; executive functioning, planning, decision making, and attention control, making good choices; mood regulation, supporting healthy neurotransmitter levels so that you are buoyant, but you're not wigged out, okay? Energy and mental clarity, especially in people with MTHFR variations, you need the methylated form. And one particularly interesting study found that adults taking methylated B vitamins showed improvements in mental health scores, reduced anxiety, and better cognitive performance compared to those taking standard B vitamins. So for individuals with MTHFR variations, the benefits were even more pronounced. And that's 50% of the people who are taking their vitamins thinking they're getting all their Bs. So if you want to think about this, like what is the practical implementation? So for optimal cognitive support, look for B complex that contain 400 to 800 micrograms, not milligrams, but micrograms of L5-MTHF, which is methylfolate. 500 to 1,000 micrograms, not milligrams, of P5P, which is the methylated B6. 25 to 50 milligrams of riboflavin 5-phosphate, or B2, that's methylated riboflavin. And take them in the morning because B vitamins can be very energizing. You don't want to overdo it at night. And if you suspect you have MTHFR variations, consider genetic testing or working with a healthcare provider familiar with methylation issues. Okay, now we've done Bacopa, we've done methylated B vitamins. Now let's talk about Gotu Kola. So this is often called the fountain of youth herb. And I want to explore it because it's another very revered herb in many traditional medical systems around the world. Asian, Indian, Mediterranean. It's really been all over the place. It's a remarkable plant. It's called the herb of longevity. And you'll understand why. Gotu Kola, or Centella asiatica, has been used for over 2,000 years in Ayurveda, traditional Chinese medicine, and Indonesian traditional medicine systems. In Sanskrit, it's called Mandukaparni, meaning frog leaf, because it grows in wet, marshy areas where frogs gather. So we have two brain herbs that have this water quality to it, which is really interesting. But here's what's fascinating about its traditional use. Ancient practitioners observed that elephants, which have exceptional longevity and memory, would seek out and preferentially eat Gotu Kola leaves. Now, a lot of people know, right? When you say you have the memory of an elephant, that's a good thing because elephants never forget, right? So this observation led to its use. So humans watching animals eat an herb and see how it affects their memory, cognition, and their ability to make decisions. And the humans followed the animals It sounds crazy, but it's really true. And so that's how it became a longevity and brain enhancement herb. In traditional Chinese medicine, it's Gotu Kola is classified as a Shen tonic. It means that it calms the spirit and it enhances mental clarity without stimulating. And Taoist masters and Buddhist monks used it to support meditation and mental focus. In Ayurveda, it's considered a medharasayana like Bacopa. It's a brain and nerve tonic that supports learning and memory. And traditionally, Gotu Kola was used for mental fatigue, brain fog, poor memory and concentration, anxiety and nervous tension. And it supports meditation and spiritual practices. It promotes longevity and healthy aging. And I love it. And I love it paired with Bacopa. Interestingly enough, it often is paired with Bacopa. Recent research has revealed that Gotu Kola has such profound effects on cognitive function that active compounds include triterpenes like asiatic acid, asiaticoside, madecassic acid, and madecassoside. That's just 4 out of many compounds that have been studied in Gotu Kola. These compounds have remarkable neuroprotective properties. Gotu Kola increases production of nerve growth factor, promoting the growth of dendrites and axons, literally helping your brain grow new connections so that you can stuff more in there. Okay. You can become an encyclopedia if you want to. It supports healthy GABA and serotonin function, which explains its calming yet focusing effect. Gotu Kola improves the integrity of the blood-brain barrier, protecting the brain from toxins while ensuring nutrients can get through. The triterpenes provide powerful protection against oxidative stress and neuroinflammation. A fascinating 2022 study published in Frontiers in Aging examined Gotu Kola's effect on age-related cognitive decline. Researchers found that Gotu Kola supplementation significantly improved cognitive function in older adults with mild cognitive impairment. Even more exciting, brain imaging studies showed that Gotu Kola actually decreased gray matter density in areas associated with memory and learning. This suggests that Gotu Kola isn't just masking cognitive decline, it's helping to reverse it. It's pretty remarkable. And another compelling study looked at combining Gotu Kola with exercise in older adults with mild cognitive impairment. While both exercise alone and Gotu Kola alone showed benefits, the combination was particularly effective for improving executive function and reducing inflammatory markers. So, and there's a lot to say about using Gotu Kola with children as well. It's safe for children over the age of 7, but do work with a holistic health practitioner who is well schooled in herbs if you're thinking about giving it to your child going back to school. Now, therapeutic doses of Gotu Kola typically range from 750 to 1,000 milligrams daily of standardized extract. That's an adult dose. Unlike some herbs that provide immediate effects, Gotu Kola builds its benefits over time, which is true of a really good brain tonic. It just takes about 2 to 3 months. Most studies show optimal results after 6 to 12 weeks of consistent use. And what I love about Gotu Kola is it's gentle and it's balancing. People often report feeling both more mentally clear and emotionally calm. It's not creating an artificial stimulation, but rather supporting your brain's natural ability to focus calmly. Okay, so 2 herbs, 1 nutraceutical, and now a medicinal mushroom, lion's mane mushroom. You may have heard of it. We often call it the nerve regenerator. Lion's mane mushroom is truly one of nature's most remarkable gifts for brain health. This distinctive white, shaggy mushroom doesn't just support cognitive function, it can actually help regenerate damaged nerves and promote the growth of new brain cells. Lion's mane, also known as Hericium erinaceus, has a rich history in traditional Chinese medicine where it's called Ho Tuo Gu, meaning monkey head mushroom, because it kind of looks like a monkey head, although like a monkey brain, actually, because it's white like a brain. And in Japanese culture, it's known as Yamabushitake, or mountain monk mushroom. The name mountain monk mushroom comes from its associated with Buddhist monks who would brew lion's mane tea to enhance their focus during meditation. They believed it helped them achieve deeper states of concentration and mental clarity. And in traditional Chinese medicine, lion's mane is classified as a tonic for all 5 internal organs: liver, lung, spleen, heart, and kidney. And practitioners use it to fortify the spleen, which is really your pancreas. So that I know that you think spleen and you think spleen, but the spleen and TCM is really this combination of your pancreas and your thyroid gland. So it helps improve digestion, especially blood sugar. It helps, lion's mane helps to nourish the stomach and heal ulcers. It supports the nervous system and combats mental fatigue. It can enhance general vigor and life force, which we call qi. It treats symptoms of qi deficiency like insomnia and weakness and forgetfulness. And historically, lion's mane was so prized that it was reserved only for royalty during certain periods. The fact that both ancient emperors and humble monks valued this mushroom speaks to its remarkable properties. Modern research on lion's mane is also kind of a stunning read. It's uncovered exactly why lion's mane has such profound effects on the nervous system. The key lies in 2 unique familiar compounds: hericenones, found in the fruiting body, and erinacines, found in the mycelium. These compounds have the remarkable ability to cross the blood-brain barrier and stimulate the production of nerve growth factor, or NGF. NGF is crucial for neuronal survival, keeping existing brain cells healthy, axon and dendrite growth, helping neurons form new connections. That's learning and acquisition. Myelin production, maintaining the insulation around the nerves, so those nerve impulses are normal. Synaptic plasticity, enhancing communication between all your brain cells. So there was this groundbreaking research that was done in 2023 from the University of Queensland, and it made headlines when researchers discovered that lion's mane extract could increase neuron growth by up to 100%. Using super resolution microscopy, they found that lion's mane dramatically increased the size of growth cones, the structures that help neurons sense their environment and form new connections. But here's what's particularly exciting. When they tested this in living mice, the animals showed significant improvements in recognition memory after dietary supplementation with lion's mane. Another compelling study published in 2023 examined lion mane in healthy young adults, a population that hadn't been well studied before, and participants taking 1.8 grams, so almost 2 grams of lion's mane daily for about 28 days showed the following: improved performance on attention tasks within just 60 minutes of the first dose, reduced subjective stress after 4 weeks of use, enhanced cognitive flexibility and executive function. So what makes this study particularly valuable is that it shows lion's mane benefits healthy brains, not just those with cognitive impairment. So if you have a good brain, you can get a better brain. If you have a mediocre brain, you'll get a good brain. So it suggests it's really valuable for anyone looking to optimize their mental performance. And the reason why I bring it up is because there's a lot of students that just default to borrowing somebody's ADHD medication or buying stimulants on the street for college exams or studying, when they could just so simply, instead of hurting their bodies, so simply take lion's mane or a combination of lion's mane, Gotu Kola, Bacopa, B vitamins, methylated B vitamins. There's so much here naturally for people to really enhance their brain and be great students. Why would you use something that we know has negative side effects when you could take something that doesn't? So it's just something to think about, right? So there is a beyond cognitive enhancement consideration with lion's mane. So the research suggests that it supports mood regulation, reduces anxiety and depression symptoms, enhances immune function, especially overall health and resilience. This is all great stuff for college students, right? Protects against neurodegenerative diseases. So potentially slowing or preventing conditions like Alzheimer's. We need more research on that, but it's a possibility. It supports digestive health, right? Healing stomach ulcers and supporting gut function. Again, all of these things. I think about students in college or high school, who are really worried about getting placed for college, or students in college who really need to do really well and graduate well, especially if you're in high performance courses in mathematics and physics and medicine and technology. You really need your brain. So for cognitive benefits with lion's mane, research typically uses doses between 500 milligrams up to 3 grams daily. So mushrooms are food. And a lot of people think, God, they can be dangerous, right? Oh, these mushrooms, they're poisonous. Not these particular kinds of mushrooms. These are so nourishing and tonifying. So you can it's like eating a meal. You can eat lion's mane as a meal. It's delicious, kind of tastes like lobster. It's really rich. It does. So you can buy it in the store and eat it as a food. It's delicious. Most studies showing cognitive benefits use at least 1 gram a day. Lion's mane can be taken with or without food and is generally well tolerated. And what I find remarkable about lion's mane is it's offering something unique in the supplement world: actual nerve regeneration. And while other compounds support brain function, they're the building blocks, lion's mane is helping your brain physically rebuild and strengthen its neural networks. So, okay, we're almost coming in for a landing. We have one more really important thing to talk about, but let's do a quick recap. Bacopa Monnieri, Brahmi, right? Methylated B vitamins, all of them as a complex. Gotu Kola, lion's mane mushroom, and now theanine, what I call the calm focus enhancer. So if for some reason all of those others don't quite get you there with the calm focus and you need a little tweak, use L-Theanine. It might seem simple compared to the complexity of herbs and the mushrooms that we just discussed. But its effects on cognitive function are both immediate and profound. So why I'm mentioning this is because this is the fast train, right? Like if you're taking these herbs and, it's the first month and you're thinking, gosh, I just need to chill and I need to get focused. You can just use the L-Theanine until the other herbs kick in. And that's how I often do it in my practice, right? Get the immediate effect and wait for the rest to build. It's beautiful and works synergistically. So this is an amino acid, and it bridges the gap between calm and alert in a way that few other natural compounds can achieve. L-Theanine is found almost exclusively in tea plants, Camellia sinensis, and its effect has been appreciated for 4,000 years through tea ceremony and daily tea consumption in Asian cultures. While ancient practitioners didn't isolate L-Theanine specifically, they certainly understood tea's ability to promote calm alertness. And at a Japanese tea ceremony, there's a concept called hua, or harmony or tranquility. And that describes the mental state achieved through mindful tea consumption. And this state is characterized by relaxed attention, mental clarity, and a peaceful focus. So that's exactly what we know L-Theanine promotes. Buddhist monks discovered that drinking tea helped them maintain alertness during long meditation sessions without the jittery effect of other types of stimulants like coffee. This led to tea becoming an integral part of monastic practices across Asia. L-Theanine works through several fascinating mechanisms. Alpha wave enhancement. Within 30 to 40 minutes of consumption, L-Theanine increases alpha brain waves, the same brainwave pattern associated with meditation and a relaxed alertness. It also helps with GABA modulation. L-Theanine influences GABA receptors, promoting a calm, non-drowsy relaxation that actually enhances rather than impairs cognitive function. It also supports dopamine and serotonin support, right? It helps maintain healthy levels of these crucial neurotransmitters, supporting both motivation and mood. Glutamate regulation. L-Theanine helps prevent glutamate from becoming overactive, protecting against excitotoxicity and brain cell damage. Recent research on L-theanine has been particularly exciting. In 2021, a study was published in Nutrients that found L-theanine significantly improved attention and working memory in middle-aged and older adults. Participants showed reduced reaction times and improved accuracy on cognitive tasks. And here's where it gets really interesting. A 2020 study examined L-theanine's effect on children with ADHD. Researchers found that while L-theanine alone provided some benefits, the combination of L-theanine with a very small amount of caffeine was particularly effective for improving sustained attention and reduced mind wandering. The study used neuroimaging to show that L-theanine caffeine combination actually decreased activity in the brain's default mode network. That's the network associated with mind wandering and distractibility. This provides a neurobiological explanation for why this combination helps people stay focused. Another compelling piece of research showed that L-theanine works in a dose-dependent manner for attention. Using sophisticated brain monitoring techniques, researchers found that higher doses of L-theanine, up to 400 milligrams in adults, provided progressively better attention benefits. So there's a synergistic effect when you take all of these things together. And what makes L-theanine particularly valuable in our 5-stack protocol is its synergistic potential. When combined with caffeine, a little bit provides smooth, jittery-free energy and enhanced focus. And that's in people who aren't sensitive to caffeine. And this is in adults. Bacopa enhances the calming effects while maintaining cognitive enhancement. Lion's mane supports the neuroplastic benefits with improved stress resilience. Gotu Kola amplifies the meditation-like state of calm alertness. And the B vitamins, which are the building blocks for healthy neurotransmitters. So for cognitive benefits, doses typically range, this is for L-theanine, from 100 to 400 milligrams daily. L-theanine can be taken at any time of the day, and it doesn't typically interfere with sleep. In fact, if you use it throughout the day, it actually may improve your sleep quality. Okay. And what I love about L-theanine is it's immediate. Okay. And it's sustainable in the day. You can feel the calming influence within 20 to 30 minutes. It doesn't create dependency or tolerance issues like many other compounds out there. So here we go. Here's the stack, the 5-stack. So why they work so beautifully together. It's not just taking a bunch of supplements, it's about creating a synergistic system that addresses cognitive enhancement from multiple angles, right? So foundation, building blocks. Think of methylated B vitamins. That's the foundation. They ensure that your brain's basic biochemical processes are running optimally. Without adequate methylation, even the best herbal compounds can't work to their full potential. Bacopa and Gotu Kola, those have been used together for thousands of years. Why separate them, right? They're adaptogens, and they help your brain maintain optimal function under stress. So Bacopa focuses more on memory and learning enhancement, while Gotu Kola emphasizes nerve regeneration and calm focus. But those take some time, okay? Now, if you add the lion's mane, it adds the unique element of actual nerve growth and regeneration, while the other compounds optimize existing brain function. You're building new brain capacity with lion's mane. And then you take L-theanine so that you can get a really good effect in the beginning. And you may not need L-theanine after 3 months because the herbs and the lion's mane, Gotu Kola, your B complexes, the Bacopa, all of that has really helped your body in its homeostatic mechanisms to shift brain function so completely that you may not need the L-theanine after 3 months or so. But in the beginning, it really helps you get there until you get there, right? So it's lovely for that focused alertness and helps so you don't have to do the jittery overstimulation. Okay, so here's what I recommend. And really, this is how I work with it in my practice for people who are open to this. Methylated B complex, you take it with a light breakfast. A lion's mane, you're going to take 500 milligrams to a gram with your breakfast. Bacopa is 300 to 500 milligrams with your breakfast. You need fat with that. So make sure you have a healthy breakfast with that. You could do afternoon, you could do Gotu Kola, L-Theanine. And L-Theanine, you're going to notice it in 20 to 30 minutes. Lion's mane, 4 to 6, 8 weeks. 12 weeks is when you see the full benefit. Bacopa, same thing, 4 to 6 weeks, but in 3 months or 12 weeks, you really notice. And Gotu Kola, progressive improvement over 6 to 12 weeks. The B vitamins are rapid, just like the L-Theanine. So really a great stack. Okay, now safety considerations and my final thoughts on this. Before I wrap up, let's talk about safety and important considerations. All 5 of these compounds have excellent safety profiles and have been used by millions of people, and some of them for thousands of years. B vitamins are new, L-Theanine is new, but the herbs and lion mane, yeah, they've been around forever. All compounds are generally well tolerated with minimal side effects. Start with lower doses, gradually increase. All of what we're talking about is for adults. If you're thinking about this for children, please come talk to me or talk to another holistic healthcare practitioner who's trained to use these herbs and nutraceuticals with children. If you're pregnant, nursing, or taking medication, consult a healthcare provider. And if you take it with food, you may not experience any little stomach upset. Some people don't eat breakfast in the morning. I wouldn't load everything up in the morning. If you don't have a breakfast, you're not going to get the most out of it. But definitely consider, with your first meal, you can take the whole stack if you wish. Methylated B vitamins, make sure you only take them at the beginning part of the day. Some people who have MTHFR variations may be sensitive to the methylated forms in the very beginning, but that kind of goes away. These particular kinds of mushroom allergies are rare, but they're possible, so make sure you don't have a mushroom sensitivity. L-Theanine may enhance the effect of blood pressure medication, so make sure if you're thinking about L-Theanine that you talk to your doctor if you're on blood pressure medication. Now, who can benefit? I don't know anyone who can't, but students and professionals requiring sustained cognitive performance, anyone experiencing brain fog or difficulty concentrating, people interested in supporting long-term brain health, those looking for natural alternatives to synthetic cognitive enhancers, individuals with known MTHFR variations, especially for B vitamins. Those are all reasons to consider this. So here are my final thoughts. What excites me most about this 5-stack protocol is that it represents a sophisticated, natural approach to cognitive enhancement. We're not forcing artificial states or masking problems. We're giving the brain the tools it needs to function optimally and naturally. Each component brings thousands of years of traditional wisdom validated by modern research, and when combined thoughtfully, they create a synergistic effect that's greater than the sum of its parts. Remember, cognitive enhancement isn't just about performing better in the short term. It's about supporting your brain's health and resilience throughout your lifetime. These compounds don't just help you think better today, they're investments in your cognitive future. Okay, that's a wrap for today's episode of Herbal Answers with Nan. I hope this deep dive into nature's cognitive enhancement toolkit, if you will, has given you valuable insights into supporting your brain health naturally. Remember, the best protocol is the one you can stick with consistency. And that's another thing. If it's too much, it's just too much, right? And until next time, folks, keep exploring the wisdom of nature. And remember, your brain has remarkable capacity for growth and healing at any age. Give it the support it deserves. Ta-ta for now.